18 inches long. This one is as long as your forearm, starting at the fingertip to your forearm. Most people, it's about 16 to 18 inches, sometimes a little longer, shorter. You can cut it to any length that you want. You start with a 36-inch dowel rod that you can pick up from a hardware store or do-it-yourself shop. Cut it in half or cut it to the length that you want. Sand it down with 3 different grits, starting with like 80 and then going to 120 and then 220, and then oil it up with some good mineral oil, butcher block oil, cutting board oil. And then you have one of the best simple self-defense tools that you can carry. I want to show you right away how you can use this for self-defense to stop somebody from hurting you, from attacking you. You can hold it this way with the short side coming out of your pinky, the long side coming out of your thumb. You put the stick between you and the threat. First thing you can do is a simple jabbing motion, turning through your shoulders and hips to pick up more distance and to hit him faster and harder. Then from your shoulder, you can strike down at an angle, coming off of the other shoulder, coming down the other angle. You can come across through the middle, striking into the jaw, the neck, into the arm. Maybe he pulls out one of these. He's trying to stab or slice you. All you have is a stick. You can smash that hand or smash that knife. If he's really clubbing fast, you can hit him right in the head, maybe knock him out. That way he won't be able to use this against you. But if you don't have any other choice, you can train with a stick. Learn how to defend yourself fighting with the short stick, and then there are plenty of sticks in your daily environment. When you don't have any other choice, you're caught off guard, someone's coming at you, someone's attacking, whether they've got a weapon or maybe it's multiple attackers, you need a force multiplier. The combo or the short stick for self-defense is very effective. Studer, thank you so much for that super chat. Welcome, Alita. Good to see you. Good morning, Studer. So first thing I'm showing you is you have a little bit here coming out of the pinky. From this position, you have a thrusting motion, and we have simple angles coming down. You have horizontal strikes, striking through any level. You can strike to the knees, strike to the body, strike to the head, both coming across and coming back. You can bring it straight down on the top of his head. This is one that I make. This is 1.25 inches in diameter. I sand these really well, cut it in half. This is a 36-inch dowel rod. This one's oak. I soak this in oil. This one's been soaking for a while. It's still a little oily. I need to wipe some more of the oil off of it and burnish it in. That's the one thing I forgot to tell you, is once you take it out of your oil, make sure you rub it really well so you get some friction from your rag, which changes the oil a little bit and then makes kind of a hard surface. And then you have a great self-defense tool. But these I make, if you want to see what I sell these for, if you want me to send you one, go to the link in the description below. All right, so you have thrusting, you have your angular strikes down. You can also strike up if you want. Maybe he's reaching to punch or choke you. You smash that hand, smash the wrist out of the way, coming off the other hip, coming through, striking across, striking back, striking down, taking it with both hands and shoving the hard bar of oak into his teeth, into his nose, in through his face, into his jaw, smashing him back. You can then bend knees and then thrusting with 2 hands that hard piece of oak into his body, knocking his wind out, pushing him back. Maybe you have to go a little higher into the throat for yourself. If he's got a knife, you have to ask yourself, what can you remove or destroy? His ability to breathe temporarily or permanently. If he's trying to take your life, you need to be a lot more aggressive in your self-defense. If he's trying to hurt you, take away your freedom, try to hurt your family, hurt your wife, hurt your child, your grandchildren, then you have the ability, you have the necessity you need to defend yourself. And you can do that fighting with sticks with for self-defense, the short self-defense stick. All right, so from this position, you also have this little bit here on the end. That's so you can strike with it, bringing this down, think about onto the top of his nose, separating the nose from his face, smash into his mouth, smash into his forehead, maybe into the top of his chest, into that clavicle right there. Maybe he's reaching, maybe he's taking hold of your child or your spouse, your husband, your wife, or an innocent person, and he's trying to hurt them and he won't let go. You can take this and smash into the nerves and the tendon and the muscle on the top of that arm and smash it over and over. You can also strike it with that downward strike. So holding in this position is very effective for self-defense. I would like you to practice. If you're serious about self-defense, I want you to do two things. One, read Tim Larkin's book, When Violence is the Answer. And you're gonna find that in the description below, a link to that. When Violence is the Answer, it's the best book. It's gonna teach you about those principles of self-defense, situation awareness, pay attention, and then when the fight is on top of you, how do you target? What target are you gonna acquire? You have to ask yourself a question. What can I remove or destroy? His ability to see, his ability to be awake, maybe you're cracking him across the head, his ability to be awake, you can knock him, there's a nerve process in the neck. When you strike that and push through, you can sometimes trigger that. The blood flushes out of his brain, he falls to the ground. Maybe he's operating a weapon against you. He's bringing that knife in. Maybe you're smashing and breaking, knocking it against his hand, smashing against his wrist, coming into his elbow, or knocking the knife out of his hand. You can smash there, bring it back there, right into the head. His ability to breathe temporarily. You shove this thing right there, smashing his nose into his face. The snot, the blood comes out. He's choking on his own blood for self-defense. Taking his teeth out into the throat. You have all of these basic strikes with a simple stick, a tanbo, the short stick. So this is fighting for self-defense using your tanbo short stick. So from here, what I want you to practice is thrusting motion, striking down at an angle, striking up at an angle, all your horizontal strikes across and back at all levels, to the head, to the body, to the knees, and then smashing down on top, maybe the top of his head, into that hand, into that arm, into that elbow, understanding that the elbows, the joints break easier than the bones, and then these reverse strikes coming in here, smashing through here, turning. Maybe he's behind you, he put his hands on your neck, you lift your elbow higher than his hand, it's gonna pop his hands right off, and then you shove this hard piece of oak right into his temple, his face. If he's got long arms, you can't reach him with that, then just turn your wrist out, smash it across his face. After you do this downward strike, you can also come up, smashing up under his chin with the long part of the stick, put two hands on it, smashing him back, using it like the Irish shillelagh. You can twist, bringing this wrist forward. That becomes a fast flicking motion, which creates a lot of power. Because this is 1.5 inch oak, 18 inches long, soaked in oil so that it gets all of its natural moisture back. It's heavy. It's not gonna break very easily. All that extra heaviness, all that extra weight is going to do a lot of damage for self-defense. So you can smash into his face simply by twisting in this motion here. You can also, using the long side swing, using your entire body, swinging through your shoulders and your hips, this big long lever, and swing that into his head, into his ribs, into his thigh, or bring it back the other way. Maybe he's behind you, you bring it down into the groin. And if he moves, he's too far back, simply extending the hand with that flicking motion. I also want to show you the other way you can hold it. I want to answer some of the questions. Hello, Bill. Bill's in Vegas. Good to see you, Bill. Matthew's here. Good morning, Matthew. MD says the oak can knock the bullets down before they can hit you. The way that you do that, as they're firing their bullets, you practice your parrying motion, twisting. That's a joke. I know he's joking. You're not gonna say, if he's trying to hit you with if he's trying to shoot you with a gun, you're gonna be dead, so that's not gonna work. Yeah, MD's got a lot of little clever comments. Thank you, MD. Markimo says it's a starter weapon in a Souls-like game. You're playing too many video games. Get off the video games, get out in the real world, and learn how to defend yourself. Yeah, Eugene Victor Toom says big stick power. Jeffy Boy says hi. Brian Wyman, 1938 says hi. Good morning, Brian. Good morning, everybody. All right, so we have this. This is the traditional way that you would hold a stick. Now, where can you find a stick? You could use an umbrella. You can use, one of the best things that I found while I was traveling on the road this summer with my son. We took a little road trip up to Nashville and back. Took a couple days going and back. Every time we stopped at the gas station, all the bugs, you gotta clean them with the nasty little fluid. You go to a nicer, we stopped at a Buc-ee's. Everybody says stop at Buc-ee's. Buc-ee's really did have the nicest, cleanest restrooms, but man, there were too many people there for me. Anyway, my point is, when you're pumping the gas, they have that little stick in that nasty water. You pull it out, it's got the squeegee on the end. It looks like a big key. And then you squeegee off your windows, you turn it around. It's got the sponge on one side, the squeegee on the other one. All of those unscrew. Or you can leave that big T on there and use it like a hatchet. And guess what? I checked it. They're 18 inches, all those sticks. So the exact same length as your Tombow self-defense stick. Yeah, welding cross is great instruction today. Much needed. Thank you. Stephen, excellent survival advice. Practice makes perfect. You're right. We have to practice. Gorilla God Kings talk about tonfa and eskrima. This is somewhere between the tonfa is a little bit longer, with the handle, and then the eskrima, of course. Most eskrima sticks are like 26. Eskrima, Kali, Arnis, like 26, 28 inches. This one's 18. This is unique to Okinawan or Japanese martial arts. But sticks are everywhere, and sticks are in all martial arts, all different lengths. I love having you learn how to fight with sticks so that you might not be able to carry this with you. Although you could throw it in a backpack, and if someone were to ask, tell them, you're a pizza maker, this is how you roll out your pizza dough. Or you tell them, it's for, I have a broken chair at the house, I needed a spindle to go in the back of the seat. I'm taking this home so I can carve it up and fix my chair. Or whatever you want, whatever, question. They don't have to know that it's for self-defense. Yeah, Doug says, can you use the short stick if someone sucker punches you? A sucker punch by definition means you didn't see it coming. So first of all, situational awareness is gonna help with that. If you're paying attention, you can a lot of times pick up someone's intent. However, you'll see these videos where groups of young, especially teens in big cities in the United States right now, they'll go walking by somebody acting like nothing's, and then they'll just turn around and sucker punch and hit him in the head. If that happens, you're gonna get hit. It might ring your bell. Hopefully you won't get knocked out. But if you do not get knocked out, if you do get knocked out, hopefully you fall and don't break anything more, and then you're able to get up and fight, or at least cover up on the ground and take some kicks and without them stomping in your head. But if they do sucker punch you, you do get caught off guard, and you have your stick, you can pull out your stick, and holding it in this position, this is the second way that I want you to learn how to fight with a short stick, to do stick fighting with a short self-defense stick, is holding it this way. Now the first advantage of this is that it's harder for him. He can grab this and have more leverage against you. He's got the long side, you've got the short side. If you've got this, you've got the long side, he's got the short side, it's much easier to hold onto your stick this way. Then from here, you can jab it into his face. If that sucker punch comes from behind, and you have the wherewithal to turn, you can turn into his punch if he's bringing another punch in, or if you see it at the last moment and you happen to be walking with your stick like this, which is a way you can walk with your stick, you can use this to protect your arm and make your block a lot harder, smashing into like a shield coming across your body. You can shield with this stick. Now, if he's got a blade and you have a stick, it's not your ideal situation. You don't want to fight anybody with a knife if you can avoid it. Always avoid it. I don't care if you've got a knife, he's got a knife, you've got a gun, he's got a knife. If he's close enough and you don't know it's there, he can end you with this, especially if he knows what he's doing very quickly. However, if you have no other choice, but you have your stick with you, let's say you live in Great Britain right now, in London. You're in London, you're not allowed to carry anything except maybe an umbrella. Maybe this is your umbrella, right? A lot of short umbrellas, if you get a nice, well-made short umbrella, it's about this length, the kind that extend and come open. You can carry it like this in your hand, and then using that umbrella, instead of him slicing up all your soft tissue in your arm, maybe slicing through an artery and you bleeding out, or slicing through your tendons and you losing the use of your hand, or him slicing through your muscles and you're having to get serious reconstructive surgery and not being able to use your arm for months, right? Maybe you intercept it with this stick, with your umbrella. You use this, train yourself on your own how to use it. So in this position, and the way you change hands is that. from here to here. Now I want you to practice that like this, right? That's all you do. You go from here, here. Or if you prefer to carry it like this, carry it like this. If he's behind you, someone comes up and you see that sucker punch coming, you can block with one hand and stick that right in his stomach. Stick that in his face, right? You can thrust to the guy who's coming at you in the front. From here, you can bring this part across his face, right? I always do that and that hurts the hand, but that's what we want. We want it to hurt a little bit. So you have a thrust, you have a swinging motion, kind of like a hook punch, either this way, or there are three ways to do boxing, hooking punch this way, and boom, just using the palm of your hand. This is the nastiest, it was the most fun when I boxed. My favorite punch was bam, just a real quick slapping, hooking punch. But with this hard piece of oak in the side of his face, right, into that eyeball, into the temple, into the ear, into the neck, into the jaw, into his teeth, knocking some of the teeth out of his face for self-defense, smashing the nose off of his face, maybe breaking his ribs. Maybe you're sitting in a chair, he's coming down on top of you, and you're just swinging here. And all it is turning through your shoulders and hips and engaging the big core muscles. And so you're swinging this in. You can, again, swing to the guy behind you, smash this way. You can bring it straight up, hitting him under the chin. He's reaching, grabbing, stabbing, choking, smashing the hand, right? You can get in that other hand, coming forward, using two hands to smash, holding it like this, smashing the teeth down his throat like before, bringing it down on top of his head, because you just, from here, changing grips to the other side. From this position, up, he's in your face, he's barking, he's trying to hurt you, got his hands on your neck, you spring it straight forward, hitting him in that solar plexus. The point is, it's a force multiplier. It takes what you have naturally and then increases the power because it concentrates it right there on the tip of that hard wood. And the greatest thing about it is make your own, right? Get a broomstick, cut it down. Again, measure from the tip of your finger to the bend in your elbow. And that's about the length of the traditional tanbo, or the short stick for self-defense. And you can call it whatever you want. Hardwood is best. This one is a little bit thicker. If you want one of mine, I will send you one. I'll put the link in my description below. World asked, do I use guns? I carry one professionally, and I carry one just about everywhere I go, but I cannot carry a gun into the airport. I can't carry it on a plane. I can't carry it on we have the Bright Line. This nice high-speed rail goes like 80 miles an hour, which is high speed for the States. I know when I was in Japan, bullet trains are much faster. In Korea, the bullet trains are much faster. But here they go about 80 miles an hour, except they don't hit a car or a person, and then they gotta stop. But can't take this through the metal detector. You can't take this through the metal detector, right? Even the bad guys can't get them through, which is the only place that it seems to be fair. The only place they really stop them. Carry this though, you can have one of these, or you can have a magazine. I was looking around for one, I put one aside to show you, but you can take a magazine and roll it up super tightly, and then by holding the magazine once it's rolled, you can do all the same motions that you can with your tanbo short stick, your fighting stick for self-defense, with a rolled up magazine. So you have sticks in your environment wherever you go. You can find a stick. A spatula works really well. A long spoon, those hard metal spoons like a serving spoon in a buffet, or like if you work in the kitchen in the back. Just do me a favor, when you go today, throughout your day, let's say the next 3 days, go and look everywhere you go, whether it's in your home or if you go to work, if you go to school, if you go to another business, if you go shopping, if you take public transportation, if you go for a walk, if you're on the beach, if you're at the park, if you're in the mountains, if you're in the desert, look around for sticks. And I promise you'll start to see sticks everywhere. Once your mind gets primed to look for the stick, you're gonna find sticks that you could use for self-defense. Are they gonna look like this? Probably not. They might be rough, they might have bark, they might have knobs on them. That's okay. I found this stick Instead of leaving you behind, let me take you with you. Don't get nauseous. We're moving. The camera's a little foggy today. I don't know. It was really nice the last couple of days. Kind of cooled off. There's my little tiny tool shed. When I was in Ohio, I had a much bigger tool shed. We had a bigger garage, but there's a trade-off here. We just got back from Nicaragua, and not just got back, recently. I found this stick. There were tens of thousands of sticks about this size, and obviously someone's cut it, and they were all just littering the beaches. It was beautiful, actually, because they were all sun-kissed and dried out in the sun, and it's got kind of a driftwood feel, and it's heavy, and it's about the same size, not exactly, maybe an inch. This one has an extra feature for self-defense, but my point is, this was on the beach. I'm gonna lower the camera, don't get sick. All right, this was on the beach, so I can use this to do all the things that I just showed you with the Japanese tanbo, with the one that I made from the hardware store, the do-it-yourself shop. You can find, and so that's the point. That's the point. The whole point of stick fighting is you can't always take the stick with you, right? You might live in a European or Canadian or Australian, soon to be American city, where they have taken away your right to self-defense. They won't let you carry pepper spray. They won't let you carry, a walking stick that looks like a self-defense stick. They won't let you carry a taser. They certainly won't let you carry a taser. They won't let you carry an expandable baton. They won't let you carry anything. It's certainly not a knife. They'll give you 10 pounds if you turn in your knife, your ghost knife, whatever that is. We have ghost guns here in the States, I guess, in Europe, where they've already taken away all your gun rights, all your guns. You have ghost knives, whatever that is. And machetes, turn in your machete, they'll give you 10 pounds. I need my machete to cut back all the overgrowth here. But if you learn how to defend yourself with this, you make yourself a stick, or buy one from me. I don't charge that much for them, but I charge a little bit for the work that I put into them, put my blood, sweat, and tears in them. Then you learn how to do all these basic motions, right? And you practice over and over again, so you get fast, and your strikes are hard, and you're accurate. You're fighting in front of your body with your stick in your garage, in your basement, in your hallway, in your bedroom, at the gym, at your dojo, wherever you train. Then you get one of these. You leave that at home because you can't take it with you. Can't take it to school. Can't take it here, there. All of a sudden you need something. You look around. Boom. An entire beach full of sticks. We got multiple levels. I've got some sticks over there that we got from Nashville, our trip to Nashville, all through the woods. We're walking around, beautiful sticks, just lying there on the ground, waiting to be picked up for self-defense. And then a palm stick. It's one of my favorite links right here. That goes in your hand. That's a loaded fist. You can break someone's jaw with that, knock them out just from a little stick. Bring it down here, bring it up, swing it through, swing it back, down over top, hit the guy behind you, smash that guy in the face. And that's just a piece of driftwood, and it's pretty. I love driftwood. Look at that. So I found myself a tanbo, and I found myself a Yawara palm stick, just walking along the beach. And you're gonna find them everywhere too, if you train using one of these sticks, and then the version of this palm stick that you make. This is 6 inches, if you wanna make one of 6 inches. That's a great idea. Buy yourself a 36-inch dowel rod, cut 1 to 18 inches, or however long your middle finger to your elbow is, and then cut one 6 inches for your fist. And then train and practice. And then maybe you don't have your palm stick, but you got your Sharpie, or you have your dry erase marker because you're working in the classroom or you're working in an office, and all of a sudden somebody, and it's not gonna stop bullets. It's not gonna stop somebody who is intent on doing a lot of harm from whatever tool that they've got, but it might give you some time. You might be able to hit him so hard, you hide, you ambush him as he comes in, and you smash his face 3 or 4 times before he gets his chance to take his shot, and you break his jaw and you hit him and you knock him out, or you knock the thing out of his hand because you've loaded your fist so that you're hitting a lot harder. And I don't know if that'll work, but it's better than nothing. It's better than being a sitting duck and just waiting to be a victim. We talk a lot about how, especially in active shooting situations where people, they say fight, flight, or freeze, and forever they've been telling you run, hide, fight. Well, the law enforcement in the last couple of years have shifted. And most of the guys I talk to professionally say, let's stop this whole run, hide, fight stuff. Let's go from a fighting posture first, because that's the only thing that's gonna give you a fighting chance. Run if you can, but instead of hiding, think about ambushing. Think about how you can, hide behind the door with the intention to jump out and smash them. Because what happens instead is that everybody just cowers, and then the guy comes through and does his evil deed, and then everybody's a victim. Where if everybody picks something up, sticks it in their hand, and start to fight, at least you have a fighting chance. All right. Roland says he's a pizza maker and he loves the cane. Yeah, Leah says running from a knife attack is the only option if the victim can run faster than the criminal. Yeah, yes, but a lot of times you're just gonna get slashed and stabbed in the back. It's hard to run. Most of my students either have some physical limitations because of injuries, or they're born with a palsy, or they're born with some other physical limitation, or they've been injured, or they've lost a leg, combat veterans, wounded warriors, or they're much, much older, and we just can't run as fast anymore. I can't outrun an 18-year-old, 19, 20, 30-year-old punk who's coming at me with a machete. I gotta turn and fight. If I see him over there, I can get out of there. If I'm in most situations, I've got this for extra protection, but not everybody does, right? And not everybody has the wherewithal and the fortitude to use it. But if you've trained to fight with sticks, that gives you a fighting chance, because then you can find these sticks and you can employ them and use them. Javier Guerrero says, thank you so much for your class. God bless you. God bless you too. Thank you. Roland says, sting like a bee. Yeah, Fright Night says, no, you'll get stabbed in the back, stand your ground and fight. Beautiful Flower says, love the mechanics of the body. It's so amazing. Absolutely. I have heard of it, yes. Jacqueline Beaver asks, does my wife train also? And I'm sad to say that no, I haven't convinced her yet to do some of the training with me. I'm gonna probably have to get one of my friends who also does the same kind of thing to train her. I've just found that's been my experience in life, is that I had a great instructor. He was an Olympic coach. He was a brilliant Korean master, one of the most well-known, because he was a really decent person. He had great skills. And his wife trained in private, because she did, and she got all the way up to her black belt from the rest of the students, the rest of the instructors, and he never even knew about it. And she said it was to surprise him for his birthday or something, but I know what it is. It's because I don't like when she tells me what to do, and she doesn't like when I tell her what to do. So, but she does have other options for self-defense, so. Cody asked, do I spin the bow too? Yeah, I spin. That's where I got started with the 6-foot staff. That's my favorite weapon of all time. After that, neck and neck would be the Joe, then the Hanbo, which is 36 inches, Tanbo, which is 18, the Yawara palm stick, which is usually 6. So I love every length of fighting stick, and the Kali sticks, Kali, Eskrima, Arnis. If you can fight with it, you can fight with anything, right? I just ordered some umbrellas to teach you guys some lessons, because I know some of you really are in areas where you can't carry anything for self-defense, but you can't carry an umbrella. And you might not even be able to carry the self-defense cane that I carry here in the States, but maybe where you live, you can get away with an umbrella. And you can do everything with the umbrella because it's just a big stick. If you get a good umbrella, they sell these umbrellas at the Home Depot. And I took one out, it was like $7 or something. And I thought, oh, this is great. I wonder how strong it is. And I just did a little flex test, it bent in half. Those you can't use. But if you get a good golf umbrella, and then there's a brand called Uzi, U-Z-I, like the machine gun. Uzi umbrellas are nearly indestructible. And they're like $50, so those are great. Cody says, train with a 5-foot, is that still a bow? Technically, a bow is 62 inches or a little bit taller or shorter than you are. it can be any length that you want. So it depends on how tall you are. But you can fight with it like a bow, and don't let anybody tell you, like, don't ever get slowed down because it doesn't fit somebody else's vision of what it's supposed to look like. If it works for you and you can spin it and you're enjoying it right now, stick with that until you find something else you want to work with. Yeah, Home Depot is a great place to get your sticks. I go to Lowe's or Home Depot here in the States. I like Lowe's just because I can get in and out faster. There's usually nobody there. Home Depot is it's just so much busier. And down here at our Home Depots, those are the ones that are getting robbed constantly. And so if I'm with my kids, I won't take them to the Home Depot. I'll take them to Lowe's because I know there's nobody there. If I'm by myself, I'll run into Lowe's because I like the quality just a little bit better. Prices are the same. Either way, I'm concealed carry. I'm ready for self-defense. And anyway, but that's a whole different thing. 5'8", Cody says 5'8" is the height, and that 5'8", so 50 or 5 foot bow is perfect for you. That's good. Do I just do this or train in actual martial art? I've been doing martial arts since I was 9. Started judo, did that for years. Went into taekwondo, did that for years. Went to karate, to aikido for years. Hapkido for years. Hapkido, which is really just Japanese jiu-jitsu with a Korean name. And then I've done a lot of Brazilian jiu-jitsu. Boxing is one of my most passionate about. I'm still super passionate about boxing. And I love to train, I love to fight, I love to get hit. So yeah, I've been doing martial arts since I was a little kid. I do have belts, but I don't care about that kind of stuff anymore. Yeah, so True says, cool, but you have to be aware that you can be charged with using a weapon if you use an umbrella. You can be charged in certain societies now where they're gonna come after you and try to make an example of you because you defended yourself against a criminal who's probably been arrested 30, 40 times. Literally, they get arrested like that right now. And if they can get away with it, they might try to make an example out of you because you effectively defended yourself with an umbrella. But that doesn't mean it's gonna stick up in court. That doesn't mean it sticks up in the highest court. You know, in God's eyes, he gave you the right for self-defense. I still think you should fight for it. Some things are worth standing for. Some things are worth living and dying for. And truth and honesty and you're fighting for your rights, for me, those are really important. And so I understand that the law in certain areas might try to punish you, the law-abiding citizen, for trying to protect yourself and your family against the horrible scum of the earth that they have emboldened by no cash bail, defund the police, you know, all this replacement stuff, whatever it is. I don't want to get into all the politics of it. That might be true, that you might become a victim of that. You might be a victim of just saying something like, I think I should be able to defend myself, and they come after you and because you posted it on social media. But fight for it. You still have to fight, right? That doesn't mean you're not right. That just means that evil is in power. Evil, and this is the enemy's kingdom, the earth. That doesn't mean you give into it. God says love your enemies. God didn't say love his enemies. And so you have to fight against his enemies. And so you just gotta do what you do. Thanks, Cody says my resume is impressive. I could do a lot more. I'm always looking to learn more. I've done a lot of Filipino martial arts too. And I just say that because you can see a lot of that in the strikes. Isaac says, found the channel a couple days ago when the grandma gave me her old nunchucks. I wanted to thank you for making these videos. Absolutely, it's my pleasure. We're gonna do a video on, we're gonna do a live stream with the nunchucks later this week. I've been working at night, and I worked tonight. I worked last night, so I'm gonna go hit the hay and get some sleep. But you guys have been awesome. Studer, again, thank you so much for that super chat. And John, it's not politics. I'm just talking about what's happening in the world, man. It might sound like politics, but I mean, when I talk to my buddies in law enforcement, there's a fraction of what's actually happening right now around the world that's being reported in the news. And I don't care if you think it's right. I think all politicians are dirty. I don't care who they are. I'm not a fan of Trump. I'm not a fan of Harris. I'm not a fan of anybody and I think a politician is a look at me, pick me, the worst kind of person in the world. I think if you look at the Bible, all the stories in the Bible, God says to Job, you better do it. And he says, no, I'm not worthy. He says to Moses, I want you to do this thing. Moses says, I can't do it. I'm not worthy. He says to Noah, no, I want you to do this thing. And Noah says, no, God, don't make me, I can't, I'm not worthy, I'm not worthy. And then he forces them, right? He brings in great tragedy and they face adversity until they finally submit to God's will and they do it. Politicians are the opposite. Politicians are bouncing up and down saying, pick me, I'm the best, I'm the best. That's not a good human being. I don't care which one they are, who they are, what side of the aisle they come from. That's how I personally feel. So for me, it's not political. It's just looking at what's going to keep you safe. What am I hearing? What am I seeing? What are the real reports coming out of law enforcement and the military and intelligence saying that the threats are right now? And those are real threats. Whether we like who the fingers are being pointed at or not, those are all real. So I want you to stay safe. I want you to be able to protect yourself and your family. And okay, John, but people really did say defund. And I don't know about the replacement thing, but it sure feels like that. And that could be political. If it is, then we can find different terms to talk about that. But that's the other thing we need to be able to do, John, and everybody else. We need to be able to talk to each other, right? We need to be able to coexist and find common ground and say the light in me recognizes the light in you. That's the whole namaste, right? That's the Christ mind, is that we learn how to get along and find solutions to these problems together instead of being ping pong balls or pinballs in the machine that's run by the enemy and all of the media and all the other stuff that's making us just angry at each other and pointing fingers and calling each other names. Have you noticed that all our politicians do now, whether they're right or left, they just call each other names like they're in second grade? There's a reason for that. It's the man, and then we all get behind it and cheer and say, yeah, lock him up, lock her up, do this, do that. And it doesn't affect us. It does affect us in a great way, but we can't do anything about it. We can't do anything except for protect our family, love our family, take care of ourselves, eat well, be healthy, and then try to be kind and good to other people. When was the last time you saw somebody stop when someone was on the side of the road? People are doing that less and less. When was the last time you saw somebody really go out? There are people that still do that, but find the homeless and find the addicted and pray with them and try to find some solutions together like we're called to do as good neighbors, as good human beings. And people are doing it less and less and less. And that's because they created this cage match, and we're in there like the gladiators, just choking each other out and throwing spit and poop and stuff on each other's face for these people who have nothing in common with us. These people who fly on private planes and live in big mansions and make more money and steal more money than you'll ever see in a lifetime. And then here we are at the very bottom, all struggling to feed our families and struggling to get along, and we're trading insults on their behalf. It's ridiculous. And so anyway, I just want us to all get along, but get along in a way that we can come together and pray together and talk together and find solutions together and realize and stop giving them what they want. Stop feeding those machines and let them go away. If you turned off the news, we've done that in my family where we agree not to look at the news for weeks at a time, a period of time, 2-3 months. You're not missing anything. And then become more calm and peaceful and loving toward each other. It's amazing. And right now, it's crazy. Roland says, turn the other cheek and get slapped another time. And that's not really what I'm talking about either. I'm saying we do need to defend ourselves. We do need to be able to speak up. But when we speak, it has to be truth. It can't be name calling. It can't be teasing and making fun and trying to have an emotional conversation with somebody who thinks more logically, or trying to have a logical conversation with someone who thinks more emotionally. And that's where we're falling apart, because you have two groups of people. One group thinks emotionally, one group thinks logically. These emotional words don't fit the logic. The logical words don't fit the emotion, and no one's hearing each other. So we all need to learn how to shut up and listen to each other and find common ground. And common ground isn't what she said and what he said and all that other stuff. Anyway, I get off my soapbox. I am by no means perfect. I fall into that trap all the time. and I find myself feeling one way or feeling another way. And then later, hopefully I come out of it a little embarrassed, a little ashamed, and try to reset and rebalance and try to find common ground with somebody. And I hope that I could do that with you, and I hope we could do that with each other and make that, if we could make our community, the Garage Dojo, the virtual dojo, about having some common ground and stop, and maybe, you called me out on using certain words, I could probably be more thoughtful and think about those too. Anyway, you guys have been awesome. I'm not gonna read I really have to go take a nap because I'm about to pass out. It's so hot in here and I'm so tired. But you guys have been awesome. Thank you so much. And I'll see you guys. Oh, if you want a stick, I'm underemployed right now. That's why I'm pushing these sticks. If you're like, man, that guy's selling really hard. Yeah, I am. I'm trying to put some money in the bank. If you need a stick or want a stick, check the link below. And if not, go make your own and train and enjoy the training.